Hello, this is Teresa Lean, and I'm recording a screencast on how to provide evidence for artifacts. It's December 2014. This screen is your evaluation template, and there are two places where you can enter evidence for artifacts, and that is in your SLO area and in your Teacher Practices area. I'm going to go into the SLO area, and any artifacts I have uploaded in my artifact portfolio, I want to be sure to provide evidence for that artifact. So as you can see, I have uploaded my mid-year data for SLO number 1, and so I'm going to copy that and then provide evidence for it in SLO number 1. Evidence for SLO number 1. This is going to be how I'm going to communicate with my evaluator about my artifact, which is not going to migrate. Only this information that I'm typing in, the evidence for artifacts, will migrate to the summary tab. So I have used the same title, and then that way they know from here where to find that artifact if they want to go look for it in the artifact portfolio. And whatever description you want to provide is completely up to you. I suggest that you provide the richest description you can, because this is what will be on your summary page. Okay, so I'm going to click on Add, and it comes down here. So now as you can see, it will contain my name and then this rich description, and I need to tag it so that it will migrate, and you're to tag it to both overall SLO score and the SLO number, and save it. And so that way, if I go to my Summary tab, I can find in my SLO the description that I have provided for my evaluator. So here's a Summary tab in my SLO, and you will see that this is what migrates. Remember, the artifact, the document that you have uploaded, will not migrate to the Summary tab. It sits outside in the SLO area. So you need to provide this description so when your evaluator goes to score your SLO, you can see all of the information that you provided, and then by naming it the same thing, if they want to take a look at that artifact, then they will go back to your evaluation activity, down to the artifact portfolio, and they will find that exact document that they can download and take a look at if they want to see. So that's where you would do your evidence for artifacts in your SLO. You can also just simply provide written evidence that is not paired with an artifact. So you would just open up the evidence text and type in evidence. What you might want to provide are some descriptions of the various strategies that you have tried with your students. And it does not have to have an artifact uploaded with it. You would just add it and then tag it to both the overall SLO and the SLO number 1 and save it. So then when I go to the summary tab, in my SLO, you will see both of these in there. Back to my summary tab. And then you can see where I just typed in some more evidence. The other area you can provide evidence for artifacts or just simply evidence is in your teacher practices. In this particular activity, there are many places you can provide evidence, either written that stand alone or written to pair with an artifact. So first I'm going to start with pairing evidence for artifacts. If you remember, you scroll all the way down, and here in the Artifact Portfolio Teacher is where you would upload documents. And so as you can see, I've uploaded several different pieces of artifacts, and now I need to pair it with evidence, or else it will not be seen on the Summary tab for your evaluator to know it exists. So I'm going to add this information into my evidence for artifacts. And where that sits, just simply for domains 1 and 4, is right above that artifact portfolio. So I would open it up. It gives me simply a text box. I'm going to use the same name so that they know. I'm going to put in parentheses artifact so that it will draw their attention that there is an artifact uploaded for this. And then I will write a description. I will add it, and then I will tag it, and all of the components for the framework will come up. And since I've designated it as 4A, I will tag it to 4A, and when we return to my summary page, you will see this information sitting there. So let's go back. I'm in my teacher practices, going to my summary tab. I'm going to scroll down to 4A and find where I wrote that description, or that evidence for artifacts as it's called, in 4A. So my evaluator knows by reading this that this is the name that I have given that artifact. If they choose to look at it, they will go back to my evaluation activity tab, scroll down to the teacher artifact portfolio area and download it. But meanwhile, they know that I have this information to support my work in 4A. It is important to remember that any document you have uploaded, either in SLO or teacher practices, must have evidence for artifacts paired with it, or it will not show up in your summary tab. Remember, your uploaded documents, which are the artifacts, sit outside and not migrate to your summary tab. Other places in teacher practices that you can document evidence is in the corresponding area of your observations. So as you can see, this one is for an announced observation. There are several of them. And then they start with minis, and there are many more minis. And these are all there for your your effectiveness cycle. So if an effectiveness cycle is 3 years, you have 3 announced observations, 1, 2, 3, and then 6 minis or more. So let's say there was a mini and I wanted to add evidence to correspond with that observation. I would go to where the evaluator had also entered evidence. So there is nothing in my account, but this is the first mini. So I will go there and open it up. And then there is the text box to add. If there's any information I think will be useful for my evaluator to know, you are invited to add that to that observation, and then you can tag it. So in this particular example, it may be about some things that happened with that student's behavior. So I want to add evidence that will correspond to that evidence from the observation. You must remember that the evidence you add is not bias or interpretation or preference, but the facts. And then if I go back into my summary tab, we should be able to scroll down to 2D and see the information that I added. Remember, there's the teacher side and the evaluator side. So on my side on the left, if I scroll down to 2D, I can see what I just added about the information in regard to my student. And perhaps on the evaluator side, there might be information that this would be helpful to understand the background and context to the evidence during that observation. So again, there are two different places that you would enter evidence for artifacts: in your SLO area and in your teacher practices area. Any artifact that you upload has to be paired with evidence for artifacts. In the SLO area, you would find the corresponding number of that SLO and go into that evidence for the SLO and add information. It is going to be extremely helpful to use the same name as you have named the document you uploaded, so that the evaluator can correspond the two easily. And the same thing for teacher practices. Any document that you upload in your artifact portfolio teacher area must be paired with evidence for artifacts so that the observer knows it exists in those summary tabs. The artifacts will not migrate, but the evidence for artifact information you enter into those fields will migrate to your summary tab.